Okay, so after understanding the uh, legal issues, the basic things that those are necessary before getting your business established, that is deciding on the name of the business, the structure of the business, the non-disclosure agreement, and zoning. That is taking into consideration these all variables or factors, and doing your groundwork in deciding the name, the form of business, the location of the business, what zone you are going to decide. Let us move further to discuss more intricate part of the legal issues which are involved in entrepreneurship. So today we move on to the next topic, which is very important. That is intellectual property rights. Actually, intellectual properties, they are some we can say maybe mental or maybe intangible creations, such as inventions, literary or artist work. That is uh, that is anything that you create out of your knowledge, out of your talent, out of your creativity, out of your expertise. So it is an intangible asset, maybe, which you are, after doing your lab work, your research work, or your work of art and craft. When you do all these work and then you want to commercially utilize them in your business, and therefore you what do? You just convert them into symbol, names, images, and design. So maybe we can say that uh, the what is it's your creation, that is anything commercially, anything that can be your creation that can be commercially utilized, maybe in the form of your symbols, in the form of your name, in the form of the image or logo of the business or the design, etc. So intellectual property right, actually you can categorize it into two types. First is industrial property, which will include all the inventions which have to be patented, maybe the trademarks, industrial designs, industrial structures, and geographic indications of the origin, and copyright. Maybe which should be including the literary and artistic work, maybe some novels, maybe the poetry, maybe some play or drama, films, musical work, artistic work, such as maybe drawings, painting, photographs, sculptures. Maybe we can also take the example of architectural designs. They all come under the industrial property. Um, Another thing, the second is your the copyright related rights, which include those of performing artists in their performance. Maybe they record producers in their recordings, and broadcasts in their radio and television. So there are two, that is copyright related rights and property rights, where industrial property, that is where you have to have the power to control these things, as mentioned. They have to be yours and nobody else can copy it, nobody else can produce it in their name instead of yours after copying it. So this term property right, intellectual property, actually IP, it reflects the idea that its subject matter is the product of a mind or the intellect of one person, and cannot be owned by anybody else, cannot be copied by anybody else. These could be in the form of patents, trademarks, or geographical indications, industrial designs, maybe some layout designs, depending on the topographies of some integrated circuits. So plant variety protection and copyright. So therefore we can say that these properties, which is the result or outcome of one's intelligence or one's intellect or one's knowledge, they must be protected. Protected from being stolen, protected from being copied, protected from being produced in somebody else's name. And IP, it has to be protected through law. Therefore, like any other form of property that can be a matter of trade, that is, it can be owned, bequeathed, or sold, or bought. The law comes here, that is, the legal provisions come here to protect these intellectual properties, that is IPs. The major feature that distinguishes it from other forms are that they are intangible and they are non-exhaustion by consumption. Non-exhaustion by consumption can be understood as that because it is a mental work, it is out of your intellect or out of your knowledge. Maybe it improves further as or as it is utilized or it is under production for any business. So it does not end. In fact, the person with experience and with, after implementing them in their businesses, they improve upon such things, such intangible, and therefore we call them intangible assets. So this is how, they have, this is very distinguishing feature of IPs. IP, actually, it is the foundation of a knowledge based economy. So it pervades in all sectors of the economy, and it is increasingly becoming more and more important for ensuring the competitiveness of the enterprises. And therefore it is necessary that we go into more detail to understand that how the law comes into with different provisions to protect these intellectual properties. So some of the components of intellectual property rights are, that is, the methods how the legal provisions are coming to protect the intellectual properties are: first is the copyright. Copyright, the word itself is saying that you have the right to your copy. Maybe we can explain it in simple terms. So it is the form of intellectual property protection granted under the Indian law to the creators of original works of original owners, I should say. It may include the authorship, for example, writing a book, writing a poetry, writing a story, or anything else, which includes all the literary works. Maybe literary works, also maybe computer programmings, producing tables, compilations, including the computer database, which can be expressed in a very different forms and methodologies. These things can be protected by going for a copyright. So more comprehensively, we can explain the intellectual property here is that maybe they include the words used by that author, the codes that is used by that maybe engineer or that person owner, the schemes or any other form which can be, including a machine readable medium, etc. In addition to this, if we go to the performance side, if we go to the creativity side, it may also include the dramatics, that is all the stage performance, all the performance maybe uh, on television or open theater, etc. It can be your musical shows, it can be your musical show, and these days we find them on television platform, we find them in open theater, we also find them on different occasions or events which are organized maybe by government or private sectors. So they include these things also. maybe also some artistic work, maybe artistic work, maybe your paintings, your drawings, your maybe contribution to some tourist sites, tourist places also, the cinematographic films and the sound recording, the of anything that you are talented with and you want it to be protected for yourself. All a very comprehensive list is included in this. The protection which is granted by the copyright law is directed towards the exclusively for the ideas rather than the idea themselves. That is, we can say that section 13 of the Copyright Act 1957 specifically, it outlines the categories that are eligible for copyright protection, which will include all the literary work, as already we have discussed, that all the literary work, all the dramatic work, maybe musical, maybe artistic, maybe cinematographic films, sound recordings, etc., etc. It can also be your books and computer programs, which they fall under different categories and different. There's exhaustive list of items that can be taken under the copyright law, and they are protected accordingly. And copyright, as defined by section 14 of the Act, it refers to a bundle of exclusive rights which are vested in the owner of the copyright. That is, these rights can be only exercised by the owner and not any other person, because the due license is with the owner only. Because once you get yourself registered under this law, copyright law, and you get a copyright, you get a license for your talent, you get a license for your artistic work or for whatever production you are going for. So here, these rights, the scope of copyright protection, it extends to all the original work, all the original literary work, artistic, musical, or anything else that is discussed already. And here the term original implies that the work has not been copied from any other source. It is your original production, and therefore there are strict laws related to plagiarism. Maybe they can be people who are found doing this. They can be heavily penalized for doing this. So therefore, we have to be very, alert in this. That if we are copying from the person who has the copyright, then maybe we may be penalized, we may be punished by the court of law as per this law. And there are all details given that what would be the punishable, what are the punishable criteria for the work anybody has copied from the original one. So commencing the moment a work is created, copyright protection is immediate and the registration is optional. You have a choice. Suppose you are creating something, you are developing something, and you want to put them in the market, you want to sell them off, and to get a copyright for your product or service, in order to protect yourself from being stolen, you still have a choice that whether you want to get yourself registered or not. So it is optional, but obtaining registration is advisable always, because if you're not registered, you cannot claim protection from the law. If your things are stolen or they are copied and somebody else sells the products, which is the outcome of your hard work, you cannot get them, catch hold of them or ask the law to protect you. And therefore it is always advisable for enhanced protection. It is very essential to note here that copyright registration, while not conferring the additional rights, it serves as a prima facie proof of entry in the copyright register maintained by the registrar of the copyrights. So This has to be, this helps a lot. This helps a lot at the time of crisis. If someone, or a crisis or any situation, if someone is trying to make use of your hard work, your hard creation, and wants to earn on your work, and this thing comes to help you or protect you. And according to section 17 of this act, the initial owner of copyright is the author or the creator of the work. An exception of this rule arises that when the employee creates a work within the course and scope of employment, in which case the employer becomes the owner of the copyright. So here we can say that maybe an exception part is that when the employee creates work, um, creates anything from anything that is already existing in his employment domain, or it is there in the scope of his employment, and it is allowed to him. So it is allowed, then he can go for the then he can go for this work, and then the employer becomes the owner of this copyright, and that work cannot be copied or distributed or sold by the employees to anybody else. So that is about the copyright, and how we must understand that how important it is to get the copyrights for anything before we are going to sell it out into the market or produce into our business. Next comes the trademark. Trademark registry. The trademark registry, it was established in India in 1940. It presently it administers the Trademark Act 1999, along with its accompanying rules and regulations. It actually this trademark, it is functioning as a pivotal source and information center. It plays a facilitating role in matters pertaining to trademarks within the country. So this act, Trademark Act, it tells or give details about the complete provisions that are available related to trademark within India. And the primary objective of this act is to get the trademarks registered. If you are working, if you are having your business in India itself, you get yourself registered in order to enhance the enhance the protection of trademarks for both goods and services, while preventing the fraudulent use of those marks. So suppose you assign certain mark for your, or some symbol for your business. You have developed some maybe a logo or a design or something called known as trademark for your business. Those that should not be copied and used by any other organization or business. That falls under the illegal activity. So it helps or protects your business or your trademark to be used by any other people and sell or buy in your name. So here the registry's central role is to register the trademark that meets the criteria which is outlined in that act, and its related rules. All the provisions are finally laid down in this act, and in the context of the Indian Trademark Act 1999. How do we define trademark? They define a trademark as a distinctive mark, uh, an individual mark, or maybe design, or maybe any logos type that is very distinctive, which is different from others. It should not be similar to anybody else. That serves as a hallmark of authenticity. For enabling the differentiation of the product from specific manufacturers or commodities of a particular entity. So maybe suppose if you decide uh, maybe an eagle okay, for your as your trademark for your business, then this eagle design, maybe because maybe others also they have an eagle, but this bird's design eagle, if you make some deviations and you just you have to check it out that nobody else has the similar mark, that has to be registered with the registered here, where you will be differentiated or your company will be distinguished on the basis of this mark. Okay, so the act emphasizes that the trademark is a mark which is capable of graphical representation, which distinguishes your good or services of one person from those of another. And it may, it may be, it can be your creative design created. Maybe the whatever goods you are manufacturing, you can take the design of that good itself. Maybe you can take something from their packaging, or maybe a combination of goods, or maybe anything that symbolizes your goods, with the definition, with the definition leaving room for various types of marks. So here, sometimes, people use very creative ideas to draw out or to develop these marks. So we can say that they have to be done in a way that they are different. They shouldn't be similar. This should be kept in mind while developing a mark for yourself, for your business. Um, okay. Then brand name and trademark protection in India, it falls under the purview of this act, and the provision of this act detail the process of trademark registration, and also it gives you the details of all the liabilities that follow the registration of the trademark. They very finely define that how you can get yourself registered. um, they define that the brand name or trademark to encompass a variety of elements, such as a device, a brand, a heading, a label, ticket, or maybe the name, signature, or any particular word or a letter itself, maybe a numeral sometimes. Maybe maybe a combination of some colors, or combination of colors in some different or particular design, etc. So they give you all the rules and regulations. The fine guidelines are given that how you should be developing these designs in order to get yourself registered as a distinguished identity, different identity. Trademark filing under Indian trademark law is open to all the proprietors, any kind of business, maybe sole proprietors, maybe partnership firm, it can be your trust or societies. They may also develop a trademark and get themselves registered with that, and the corporate sector, and anywhere, any body, organization, institution that is a principal place of business, they can get themselves registered, and they can get themselves their trademark design. So this is about the trademark. That is a logo or design or mark that will be differentiating, or maybe this is the icon that through which somebody can recognize you or your business. So this is about the trademark. Now we have discussed two concepts till here, that is the copyright and the trademark. So let us just understand that how they can be compared, or they can be understood differently. Actually, copyright and trademark, they form as a very intrinsic part of intellectual property. They are very important component of the IP rights. So here the copyrights, they give long lasting rights pertaining to your original ideas. Okay, maybe your literary work, your writing work, your artistic work, your musical creation. Whereas trademarks, they are protection against the imitation, as long as at least they can continue to be employed in the trade. That is, as far as your organization is there in that business, that icon or that symbol is the trademark that remains there. Whereas copyright is something completely different. It is given for your intellectual, intangible creation that is originally coming from your mind, from your heart, from your creativity. So according to Indian, there are two completely different things. Okay. And according to Indian legislation which governs the intellectual property rights, all the artistic, literary, musical, dramatic work, they come within the purview of copyright. But if it has to be used in context with goods, then certificate connecting the same has to be obtained from the registrar of the trademarks. So thus, though they are governed by different laws, but they are two sides of the same coin. That is, they have to be, they have the registrar of trademark, he issues the copyrights as well as the trademark certificates. You have to approach them, but they are for two different purposes. One is for the intangible assets to be protected, the other is for the icon or symbol to be protected. So this was the all about the trademark and copyright. Uh, two very different concept, two different laws that protect the two different aspects of intellectual property. So we discussed this much for this session. We'll continue to more of the intellectual property right in the next session. Thank you.